So you've been thinking about moving to Columbia, Tennessee, but you're not sure if it's too far from Nashville or if it's close enough to what you need or what's even in Columbia. We're going to do a map tour today of Columbia and we're getting started right now. If this is your first time to the channel and you're wanting to know all things about Nashville and the surrounding areas like Columbia, feel free to click the subscribe button, click the bell for notification, and you'll get notified every time we upload a new video. I'm Michael and Joshua, Caleb, James, David, our team. We get calls from people just like you from all over the country looking to move to the Tennessee area. And when we do, we love it. And if you have questions and you're looking to move in one day, 1 month, or 1 year, it doesn't matter. Feel free to give us a call, shoot us a text, and send us an email. We'll help you make that move to the Tennessee area. So as I said, we're looking at Columbia, Tennessee today, and we're going to be looking at the map tour, which is taking you around a map, kind of showing you the ins and outs of Columbia, what's around Columbia. And it won't be like maybe all inclusive, but it's going to give you a good highlight of the area. So let's get started here. So we're going to take a look at Wikipedia right now. And one thing you need to notice is that the county seat of Murray County, it's not Maury County. We here in Tennessee, we sometimes don't like the way people pronunciate things.
What's the matter with you?
So we like to change it. So in this case, Maury, Maury, is pronounced Murray. Kind of like there's a city here in Middle Tennessee called Santa, Santa-Fe. Now, everywhere across the country, we call that Santa Fe. But here in Tennessee, in Middle Tennessee, we call it Santa Fe. So as you can tell, we may be a little weird on some of our names and name calling, but this is the county seat of Murray County. And we are going to take a look at a couple of key things about this specific city. One of them is it is Muletown, the name of it. They self-declared it Muletown, and it's a highlight. They actually have a Mule Day, which is a big, huge festival, parade, all kinds of stuff happens in April, every April for Muletown. Some of the shops and boutiques are called Muletown. There's a bar called Mule something bar. So as you can see, everything is wrapped up around Muletown. Another key interesting fact about Columbia is there's more antebellum houses than any other county in Tennessee. And that is huge because there's a lot of history, rich history, Civil War history here in the Columbia area. That is definitely something. If you're a history buff, this is definitely the place you're going to want to visit. There are tours. We're going to talk about that. Stick around to the end. We'll talk about some of those tours and some of the things that you can do either with your family or if you're just a history buff and want to go driving around the county, learning more about the history of Murray County. This is definitely something you're going to want to stick around for at the end. So let's get back to business here and talk about a little bit about the area. Here's Columbia directly in the city, right here. Kind of, if you put this up here on the thing so we can kind of circle it. This is the main part of Columbia. Now, I'll show you in just a minute how big Columbia is as well as far as a zip code and U.S. Postal Service version of Columbia, not just the proper city. So the city of Columbia was once considered as being that they were going to be the capital of Tennessee. And when they didn't get it, they had still built and laid out everything properly. So you have wonderful architecture, you have great history, wide roads in the downtown area. There's a county seat courthouse right in the middle of town. It's really laid out well. Okay, so we're going to take a look at, this is the kind of Columbia proper, but I want to zoom out just a little bit. Let's go here. We're going to zoom out and kind of give you an idea. The Columbia area it starts right about here. and runs all the way like this. These are all Columbia addresses through here, all the way over into here. This is all, the U.S. Postal Service says that is Columbia. It takes up a wide area, crosses I-65. All of this over here in this area here, that's all Columbia as well. Just to let you know, there's more to Columbia than just the downtown area. So when you say you're going to move to Columbia, just below Spring Hill, right below the GM plant, the GM plant sits right. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Here we go. GM plant sits right here. Just below that, this is all Columbia, right there. This is definitely a place that's growing. Just 10 years ago, well, I guess about 12 years ago, it was 29,000 were on the census. This latest census in 2020, there's 42,000. You can see there's been major growth in the Columbia area. It's part of the urban sprawl where people are leaving Nashville and finding, I guess, refuge, if you want to call it refuge, in cheaper home prices and just less traffic, less hustle and bustle. So Columbia is definitely a place, if you're trying to get away from a lot of that hustle and bustle, it's a place that's kind of slower paced, more country town kind of feel to it. Still has a lot of amenities, but definitely has a country town feel to it. So let's dive in a little bit more into some of the things. Columbia, from Columbia, which is downtown, the square in Columbia, to the airport is going to take you right, with no traffic, it's going to take you right around an hour. Maybe a little bit longer. If you have traffic, we'll just say it's going to take you 3 hours. No, I'm just kidding. But you do need to plan for traffic if you're going to go during a rush hour, because traffic will get backed up. If you're heading to the airport, you're going to want to leave super early for sure. Columbia is about an hour from the airport. Let's take a look at this one too. This is to the downtown Broadway area of Nashville. Columbia down to downtown Broadway. It's going to take you about an hour, hour and 15, depending on where you're going to go downtown. That's going to take you to where the Predators play, the hockey team. That's going to take you to the Country Music Hall of Fame, all right down there around the Broadway area. All the bars and everything that's for the nightlife along the strip there in downtown Nashville. That's really about an hour, hour and 15 minutes to get down to there, find a parking space. So you need to make sure you take time, leave early enough to be able to get there. Let's see what else we have here. We can take a look. To get to Columbia doesn't have like a formal mall kind of thing, but if you want to get to a mall, Franklin is probably the closest mall, and Franklin is about 30 minutes, 35 minutes away to get to the Galleria Mall in Cool Springs. They have just about everything you could imagine inside the mall, including all the restaurants around the Cool Springs area. So if you're looking at any national chain, any specific restaurant you're trying to get to, or any national store that you're trying to get to, there's an Apple store there. There's all kinds of things in the mall that if you're looking for something, that's where you would be going to get to one of those national chain type stores. Don't get me wrong, there's national chain fast food restaurants and all kinds of there's a grocery store, national chains, there's Target, and there's home improvement warehouses. All of those are in Columbia, but I'm just trying to give you the idea that making sure if you're looking for the Gap is probably going to be in Cool Springs, not going to be in Columbia. I say that it's probably a Gap in Columbia. All right. Some key people want to know how far you are from the interstate. This is super important for people who have to commute and travel. Doing a lot of travel, you don't want to be way off of the interstate. Columbia is about 15 minutes. If you're going somewhere downtown, from downtown to the interstate is 15 minutes. Not a super hard trek. It's a nice highway, gets you there. Doesn't get backed up very much. So this is definitely a pretty nice distance to still be close enough to the interstate, but have that country feel as well. All right. So the 11th president of the United States has an ancestral home here. This is one of two homes that are left from James Polk, the 11th president of the United States. This is one of two that are still standing from the 11th president of the United States. So that's right here in this museum and home right there. And there's all kinds of unique boutique shops in the downtown area. Too many to even name. We can show you around town a little bit in a little while, but we want to make sure you get like a good idea of the layout of everything during this map tour first. So if you want to go to a brewery company, there's that's a bad idea. Bad idea. Brewery company. Brewing company. See what I did there, didn't you? There's a couple of brewing companies downtown. There's lots of churches. That's the best thing to do, put churches and brewing companies in the same paragraph. There's lots of churches too. Oh dear, that's funny. I'm cracking myself up anyway. All right, we're going to go to country food because that's what I need to talk about now. There are some amazing country food restaurants. If you are into fried chicken and country fried steak and southern vegetables like I am, you are going to want to check this out. Old Glory, it looks like a storefront, but they have really good food. This Columbia Farmers Family Restaurant, this is a massive buffet, kind of like you could probably think of a Golden Corral or Ryan's, or those big, huge cafeteria style buffet places, except this is all country food. Great place. You want some good barbecue? There's JJ's Barbecue right there. Let's see. Let me clear this out. Go this way a little bit. There's a downtown. There's a good steakhouse, a Southern Trace Steakhouse. I tell you, this is kind of odd. Off the beaten path a little bit, this Betty's Parkway restaurant, they're known for having incredible steaks. So definitely something you want to check out. Jumbo House is a drive-in hamburger joint, kind of like the old days. It says it's been in operation since 1975. It looks more like a 50 style restaurant, but that's definitely something you'll want to check out as well. And then there's always national chain stuff like a Zaxby's. Definitely lots of excellent food, something we can talk about all day long. All right, we'll come over here. It's another picture of Columbia. As you can see, something that's really cool about Columbia is there is the Duck River. The Duck River winds through. You can see it kind of winds through the middle of Columbia right here along this path. And this is a great river. If you're looking to canoe, swim, raft, fish, everything, this is an excellent river to do that. It's all through Columbia, through Murray County as well. And a lot of, if you're into going outside, getting in the water and playing around, this is definitely something you're going to want to check out. All right, so we're going to jump over here to something that's a website. We're going to put this link to this website in the description below, but you need to check this out. This is visitcolumbiatn.com, and you can explore just about anything you want, from artists to attractions and the arts district, the history. There's outdoor stuff. There's, unbelievable amount of, there's breweries, coffee shops, historical landmarks, driving tours, museums, everything you could possibly want to know about Columbia is right here in this one website. So you could dig through, if you're planning on coming here, taking a look, maybe getting in an Airbnb to kind of look around the area, see if this is a place you want to live, work, and play. This will be a great website and resource for you to know what's in the area. Is it kid friendly? Just about anything you can imagine is sitting in here. Here's kids and families. So there's all kinds of activities and things to do. And I talked about Mule Day. Here's Mule Day. Okay, talk about that. So here's the breweries and the like wineries and things like that are in the area around Murray County. And here's the coffee shops. You can see there's plenty of coffee shops. I can tell you Cabin Coffee is super awesome. There's a Nashville tea company. That's over by, it's called The Factory. And just like in Franklin, there's actually all over the Middle Tennessee area, there are places that have renovated an old factory, an old furniture warehouse, an old um, warehouse that has mattresses and things like that. And they've completely renovated them and put all kinds of boutique shops in these factory warehouse type shop places. And there's one of those in Columbia. That's where the Nashville Tea Company is. And there is so much you can do around Columbia. And this is a great resource if you're wanting to know what is the arts and entertainment. Here's the art galleries. Here's some local theaters. Let's see what this is. Well, that is coffee. It's all about coffee. Buckhead Coffee. So as you can see, this is a super valuable tool. If you're wanting to know more about Columbia, check out visit Columbiatn.com. Like I said, it's in the description. You can just click there and you'll be glad. It'll send you right to this website with all the details of just about anything you want to know about Columbia. Like I said, we're going to talk about one key thing about the history of Columbia. This is what I want to talk about real quick. There is driving tours. Here's a African American history driving tour. There you can. This is something fun to do. Fisher's off-road rentals. Those are they're side by sides, I guess you would call them, and they go through rough terrain and down through creeks and different things like that. There's a Muletown tour. There is the Trace Trail. Natchez Trace Parkway isn't far away. There's the Old Tennessee Trail. There's definitely tours for the old antebellum houses and things like that. Definitely a cool area if you are a history buff. As you can see, the Columbia area is definitely a cool place. If it's something you want to check out, feel free to click the link about visiting Columbiatn.com. That's definitely a great resource. If you have any questions whatsoever, feel free to reach out to our team. We'll be glad to help you any way we can navigating. If you're going to be getting an Airbnb in the area and coming to tour looking at houses, our team can certainly help you do that as well. Feel free to check out this video right here about more things about Columbia. If you want to know more about Nashville, check out this one right here. We'll see you next time.